Why is Nevermore still doing this? Shouldn't all of these people just hang it up?
Black Sabbath is old enough. They don't have to tell anyone. They can just stop. And then at some point they'll die. And then
That's what I'm saying. Hang it up. Welcome to another episode of Your Music is Bad, and You Should Feel Bad with Matt and Blake. He's Matt. I'm Blake. We got a few things to talk about today, and they're kind of all over the place, and that's okay. We've got some current events. We want to talk about Nevermore. We want to talk about Arch Enemy and how those things are related, and what's going on in the metal scene regarding some bands that we may or may not want to see and may or may not care about anymore. And maybe we got to take a look at the old angry metal guy year in review that I didn't pay enough attention to until, well, it's almost the end of February here, but we should still be paying attention. Where do you want to start, Matt? What do you want to talk about?
all right. So we'll start with the news related items, and then we'll kind of establish the Kamelot. There's news, but then there's also, we're going to do like a retrospective. We want to start a new series of series where we talk about stuff we like, and more specifically stuff that we've liked probably a long time and keep coming back to when new stuff isn't as good. And so it's a little bit of a like, oh, we don't just talk about stuff we don't like or how stuff is bad. We can also talk about how stuff is good. It's just that we think less stuff is good than most people, and that
And also,
hurts.
sometimes the new stuff sucks.
Yes, also a lot of
So
the
it is a
times the new
comparative.
stuff sucks.
Some things are good from the same artist or the same, or an artist calling themselves one thing that isn't necessarily the same group of people, a la Camelot. I don't want to get into that just yet.
But yeah.
We should hit the news.
All right.
But there's a big difference. You're probably aware.
Yes. So the theme of this episode, or these topics that is connected, is replacing band members, or like,
For good or bad.
yeah. So Jeff Loomis was in Arch Enemy for a long time, which was largely disappointing if you like Jeff Loomis and stuff that he writes, because you're not allowed to write in Arch Enemy. You're just solo stunt guitarist. And so that was really boring. And finally he, made enough money or whatever, like got his notoriety to the point where he could do whatever he wants. Or maybe it was just had enough money saved up to be like, let's do a fun one. And apparently it's not the only one, but he left to reform Nevermore. And we'll talk about that. But then we'll also talk about how not that long after, Arch Enemy's vocalist quit after a really long time.
That's their second vocalist that they've lost.
Yes. So we'll go over their whole history, even though their music has been the same for a very long time. But if you like the thing that it still sounds like, then, really you can't go wrong, because
it hasn't changed.
Nothing will change how this band sounds.
Is not prog metal. It's what do we call Arch Enemy?
It's like,
is Arch Enemy power metal?
No.
Are they power death?
Kind of. Like, it's like mainstream death metal. It's like the most accessible death metal that exists. And it's a combination of like a little bit of clean vocals, but like mostly death vocals. And it's sort of become a formula. It's very straightforward songs, and again to the point where I was like, oh, I can immediately tell Jeff Loomis had nothing to do with this. And then there's a solo, and then he did a solo, and then he was like, all right, back to like autopilot, boring ass riffs. I don't know if that's what he's really thinking. That's what I would be thinking if I was in Arch Enemy.
Seems very likely. Did you listen to the new one by any chance?
No, that's what I like.
I did.
I'm so unmotivated. Did they put out an actual new song?
They have a new song, a new video, the new singer, and you'll be shocked to learn it's more of the same.
Well, yeah, no, that's why I didn't listen to it, because I was like, I don't really need to. Like,
yeah, I listened to it once, and I'm probably not going to watch it again. Watch any of those things. I don't care.
The new vocalist is pretty decent, and
well, so was
she was in a different.
so was Angela. Not as much
Right.
has changed
No,
across the
that's my
three.
point. Is it's disappointing because it's like, well, her other band was like they're pretty good, and like that's the thing. It's like she just went to a less interesting band. Everybody who joins Arch
It's a
Enemy
successful one.
is like, you had a lot of cool ideas that made your band popular, but not as popular as Arch Enemy. Why don't you join Arch Enemy and never have a good idea again? It will pay you. You can afford to be in this band. It will not lose you money. So it's the siren song. I mean, look, lots of people are just happy to be playing and getting paid for it, and I
Sure.
understand that.
Absolutely. Now, having said that, Jeff Loomis left. Jeff Loomis is going to do Nevermore. I don't think Nevermore is going to get Jeff Loomis paid at this point, so hopefully he's got a little nest egg.
Yeah. Well, like they might do okay, like at least initially. It's a question of whether it'll have any longevity. I think they're one of those bands that, because of how long ago their sort of peak was, they've had a little time to build up interest, even though like reasonably it was a good time to call it a day, because that last album was so mediocre and phoned in sounding, and it kind of was like, yeah, no, I think we're good. I think you did all the good stuff.
Sure.
You did a lot of
And
good
like people were falling apart and dying and different
Well,
stuff.
yeah, but the
which
dying
is
came a while later. Like first it was there
right.
was
It's
there
a
was
lead up
people were
to it.
falling apart, but it's like, yeah, it depends on who you ask, I'm sure. But whatever. The point is,
Yeah, that's fine. So the thing about that is, though, so now they got new band
yes.
members. I can't talk. But we first talked about this when this was going to be a thing. We heard about Nevermore getting reformed, what, 6 months ago? I don't know, something like that. We thought, hey, there's going to be this thing. I think they talked about there was going to be the thing. We're going to look for band members. We're going to tell you about it. Or did we make that up? Did we hallucinate that? Because that didn't happen.
I don't know if they ever really promised to do that. I think part of the issue is that I automatically read into, we're going to take auditions
Sure.
and then like, yeah, they probably did say, and then we'll tell you who we pick, but they didn't necessarily promise an extravagant content cycle and pseudo game show as, like the bar has been set pretty high by some of the hoop jumping, and like, I mean, it's funny. It's one of those things where like, if you're not a big enough band, don't bother. Nobody cares who's replacing who. But then as you get bigger, you can only be so big because you can't afford to you have to afford to like fly people out, because they're probably not just going to come out on their own dime.
Sure.
Unless it's literally a band that's so big that they will, but then they shouldn't be because you can afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like if Black Sabbath
Sure.
hires somebody, if Ozzy hires somebody, he can fly them out if it's worth flying them out for an audition. You know what I'm saying? He can afford it. He should be paying for it, but he also then has the leverage to not pay for it. But whatever. That's
good enough. So the point is, or
anyway.
maybe the distillation of that is, Nevermore is coming back around. They got some people. I don't know who these people are,
and they did not.
Did they waste an opportunity?
100% they wasted an opportunity. Now it's not to say they couldn't have still fumbled it, or still couldn't have come off as rough. I don't know. Like they probably need like a media guy, like a social media guy.
Would a social media guy be appropriate in the context of what Nevermore is?
Well,
what would
yes,
Worrell
if it's
have
content
said
for
about
social
that?
media. I'm not saying like just any old social media guy. I mean like somebody who knows what they're doing. They're also like is a video producer guy probably, but
and another audio engineer or two.
Yeah, but like if you hire production, like they'll do audio. Like that's the thing. So the only content that came out of it at all was from Ola England going to their band rehearsal, and they kind of used that as like maybe they announced them a little sooner than that, but that's what got my attention and made me realize like, oh, they actually put, like, I know they said they had picked people, but that was the extent of the contest. Was like, here are the submission guidelines. Wait a while. Okay, we picked somebody. Bye. You like, like you're gonna tell, like, we'll let you know, like, because they wanna have something to show. So like with Ola visiting them, you got to hear them performing some Nevermore songs with the new guys, and that's what they were, I'm sure, holding out for. But And like again, I'm sure they don't have like a ton of money to like fly people out and stuff, but they could have. It didn't have to be in person. It would be best in person, like the Dream Theater one, you know. But I guess they probably didn't get as many like professionals as Dream Theater because Dream Theater was already at the level where like, okay, you're gonna get paid. It's a steady gig. These guys are drumming legends, but they also really need a steady paying gig. Like that was the thing with Mangini. He was like, he's huge. He was playing with Steve Vai, all kinds of people, incredible drummer. And then it's just like, but I'm gonna get paid, right? I just need a paycheck.
It's kind of important.
Especially, I guess it makes sense
for things.
when you play with so many top people, but there's only so many of those top people who are like, I need Mike Mangini. And so like, you know, there's still probably dry spells, whereas Dream Theater was just like, that's why Mike left, because we refused to stop working for even a minute.
And now he's like doing that also because when did Mike Portnoy ever stop working? Portnoy wanted to be doing things
Not
constantly,
really.
so that doesn't even.
Yeah, I think he partially just wanted to do different things.
Well, that's always been his
but
thing. I don't think Portnoy ever wanted to do the same thing for more than about 5 minutes. So,
but then having heard the stuff
drummer.
that he did in the meantime, I was kind of like, I don't know. It probably wasn't going to be any better if he stayed. Like you heard the stuff when he came back. It was like
it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So they're out of ideas, have been for a while, but that's okay. So, well,
they're getting paid. Everybody's getting paid, not for ideas. They're getting paid for old
That's
ideas.
how you get paid. You just keep making the same album over and over again, assuming you can maintain enough popularity that certain amount of people keep being like, whatever, man, it's the same one, but I like the last one, so the words are different.
This may be an analysis of artistry under capitalism and why it's problematic.
No, yeah,
just in case you didn't notice.
My years of research into how to make a living as a musician and how not to, and I discovered that when you're popular enough, like if you're not popular enough, you keep making the same album and people get less and less interested. If you're popular enough, they're just like, you keep making them, I'm gonna keep buying them, brother. And they do. And then it's like literally can just be the same. Sometimes there's like a slow, you know, fall off, but like it's so slow that like by the time you fall off completely, it's like you didn't want to go on the road anyway. You didn't want to keep making them because you're 70, you know, like you just, that's enough. Anyway,
tell Black Sabbath that.
Well, no, that's
the Rolling Stones, or I don't know.
Yeah, well,
still alive. Jesus.
Black Sabbath can get a new singer, which they already only one of their singers has ever died, right? Or at least like I don't know.
Well, Dio's dead, and
Ozzy's
dead.
No,
and,
I was thinking of Ozzy. I was thinking of like
Dio was the other.
You're right.
Big one.
You're right. Dio definitely is dead. I always forget because I thought he was immortal.
If we believe he's dead, if he's not just alive in the belly of a dragon,
that's what I meant. Was
he's not around?
The only one who's really dead. Wink, wink.
He's disappeared from this mortal plane. Is battling dragons in an alternate dimension. Look out!
Exactly. But aside from the immortal Ronnie James Dio, no, it didn't land where I thought it was. But I was thinking like, oh yeah, they've replaced a lot of other guys. I'm sure that some of their ex drummers
most
are
of them
dead.
Came back unless they're too old.
Yeah. Right.
Because it's Yomi and is Butler still playing?
Yeah.
Ward is still playing.
Yeah, Ward still. He basically stopped for a while because he was like, but like he came back. He got his heart replaced or some shit. I don't know. He had some crazy stuff, but like, oh, now you can play again.
1,000 years old playing.
You must have got a new one.
Well,
yeah, and so it's like, yeah.
Fine. So they just need a replacement 78-year-old singer. I will see what my dad's doing.
Yeah, that's the problem. Or no, they'll like they don't have like they could get some young guys. Just it's gonna be like there's no point. They should get Tony Martin because he's still alive and he's of the top 3 Black Sabbath vocalists.
Sure.
He's the third one.
Yeah, I suppose. I was trying to think of a replacement. I was like, no, wait a minute. That's the guy that was there already.
He's available. I thought he was dead for a while, and then I was like, oh no, he's perfectly alive and well, and has been doing stuff a little bit on and off here and there. You know, I don't know how much he makes from it. That's
hard
his
to
business.
say. You'll have
but he is alive, and therefore,
and that is a key criteria in being
line
in
it
the
up.
show.
I mean, it would have to be another. That the reason they probably haven't is it would have to be another Heaven and Hell, because I'm pretty sure that when
They
Ozzy
kinda
came
did
back, they locked down the contract, so it's like you can never replace Ozzy. Without Ozzy, it's not Black Sabbath now. Or now maybe that changed when he died, but
I don't know.
that's why they did
Sharon's a
Heaven
hard
and Hell.
ass.
That's why they did Heaven and Hell. And you're exactly. She's at least need to get compensated or something. So
Oh yeah, she's gonna get like 60% of all proceeds.
yeah, so they can get a new singer, but like, and nobody is gonna know Heaven and Hell. Like again, Dio is big enough, but Tony Martin, what you're gonna call it, the Eternal Idol, the Ancient Warrior, and people can be like, what the fuck is that band? Who the fuck those guys? Like, it's not the biggest. The biggest hit was The Shining. There's already a band called The Shining, so you can't use that.
No,
I don't even know if it was a hit, but it was like the most recognizable, at least to me. Whatever.
How would we feel if they just hung it up? Because
Headless Cross. That's what they would go with.
shouldn't they just hang it up?
Yeah, probably.
Shouldn't Arch Enemy just hang it up?
They're old
Why
enough.
is Nevermore still doing this?
The
Shouldn't
thing
all
is-
of these people just fucking hang it up?
No. Black Sabbath is old enough. They don't have to tell anyone, especially if they're sick of like retiring and coming back. They can just like stop, and then at some point they'll die, and then
That's what I'm
no
saying.
one will bother.
Hang it up.
You know,
Go up to
once in a
pasture.
while you get asked what you're up to, and you're just like, oh no, just figuring it out, and then you just don't. Like people make a big deal of like retiring. Ozzy's been retiring since the 80s. You can't trust.
Well, again, Sharon.
You can't trust a band to retire anymore.
Sharon was never going to let him not make money wherever possible.
True.
That was the whole thing. Hey, I saved your life. You're still alive thanks to me, so I am going to milk
literally
you like a
up
cow.
to the last moment.
Yes.
Was like, keep working, Ozzy, keep working. All right, take a couple days off.
Just don't die on stage, or if you do, not for very long at a time.
I don't know. I mean, if he had died on stage during that big, tribute to him, well, like they would have gotten it on camera. I don't know. I don't think she would have a problem. I don't think sales would probably go through the roof of like copies of it. Like you see the moment when Ozzy leaves his body.
Extremely fucked up.
Like,
you're probably right.
Right? I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what's in Sharon's head, but you can make a safe bet.
Dollar bills, or pounds, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right, so
that's neither here nor there.
So Arch Enemy, who gives a crap? But Nevermore, they got so the bass player and singer.
Who are these guys?
Turkey,
folks. I don't know them. They're Turkey. They're Turkish.
They're from Turkey. Yeah, they're Turkish. I was like, I assume they're Brazilian. No, Turkish.
Not Floridian. The rest of the band is Florida people, aren't they?
They are definitely from Turkey. Which again, maybe I was wrong about this whole like. Or maybe they have to move to Seattle to join.
Are they Seattleites? I guess I don't remember where the hell the Nevermore.
Nevermore, yeah, Nevermore's based in Seattle. Jeff Loomis is from Appleton, Wisconsin.
No shit.
But Nevermore and the band before it, Sanctuary, were based in Seattle. And that's little sliver of like my favorite bands ever, but not grunge. Like Queensryche, Nevermore, Sanctuary, kind of 2 for 1 with Nevermore. But
Candlebox.
in the 90s. So I'm on like Seattle music, like metal in Seattle in the 90s. People are like Soundgarden maybe, but mostly they're going to think of like grungy stuff. And it's like,
well, Alice in Chains.
No. Well, yeah, Alice in Chains. But again, they're still, it's like grungy, but like it's on that board. Like it qualifies as metal, but it also is technically.
They were the hardest
grunge
grunge and the grungiest metal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, they got Turkish people. We don't know them. Have they been in other bands? Have they been of note? Or were these complete unknowns that just, here's a video of me singing or playing the thing? Sorry, what did you get? A bassist and a singer, was it?
Yeah, bassist, singer, and a new second guitar player. The bassist and the singer.
They're all Turkish?
No.
Okay.
The bassist and the singer came from the contest, and I think they're both Turkish. Yeah, and like, okay, the bassist used to be in Oceans of Slumber.
Okay, I'm aware of that band. Pretty decent band.
But I am kind of curious how like the singer and bassist are they both Turkish?
That would be kind of a weird coincidence if you did this just internationally, unless they were like in the same band.
Which maybe
Turkey's
okay, they're both
best
Turkish.
Nevermore cover
Yep.
band.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe. Well, the amount that the singer, like, actually, I wouldn't be surprised because the amount that the singer is good, very good. Like, okay, so I'm just referencing Ola Englund's video. That should have been Nevermore's video, but that's fine. In a way, it's cheaper for them. Let Ola handle the production. The problem is Ola handled the production, and even though there were multiple cameras filming them practicing, it was like camera audio.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Patrick Oulias does everything otherwise that
Yeah,
Ola and Tom
you
don't
just
otherwise do.
it's not that hard to use. I mean, some people might disagree about doing it in stereo, but the simplest option is like a Zoom or Tascam. They have these little digital recorders with a stereo mic on it. You stick that in the room, gives you a very in the room sound, but good. Like it's basically it's going to be better than camera audio in this kind of situation where it's not going to sound ideal anyway. It's kind of loud, whatever. Like it helps because the stereo kind of spreads things out. It gives you want it a little more in the room sounding versus just the camera mic, which is always garbage. Every camera microphone is bad. They know you're going to get another microphone if you're serious. It's just literally the only reason there's really a microphone there for a professional camera is so that you can sync up the audio
Reference.
on it to the real audio source.
Right.
And so anyway, the audio was subpar for how good the video was, which is unfortunate. It was okay, but it was like, yeah, it sounds like camera audio. Why did you do that? You shouldn't have done that. But it makes sense because
it was his phone.
and also because
That's certainly why.
I don't know, like his gear demos are useless to me anyway because the way he dials things in is like I don't know. We theorize that he has like maybe certain hearing loss or something. Like he lost the low end, and so his stuff always. Same thing happened to John Petrucci. Probably they started losing low end, and then their tones get fatter and thicker and fartier.
Are we talking
Anyway.
about guitar tones or
Yes, exactly.
just guitar tones?
Yes, just guitar tones, nothing else.
10-4.
So okay, the guitar player. That's the extent I know about the bass player and the singer. The singer sounded good, but not to where I think he's going to sound great on all of the existing Nevermore stuff because that's what he was doing, right? He was pretty close to a Worrell impression, except that I didn't think his clean stuff was quite as nice. It was still like, in tune and everything, but it was the thing where he kind of keeps his like harsh metal voice on a little bit all the time. And there's whereas Worrell had a very broad range from clean to dirt and that's what so I was like okay I had a feeling like that was what was going to be missing a little and they did Born, they did Sentient number 6, which that one Sentient number 6 is like oh you're going to hear the clean stuff. I was like oh, okay but it was fine but I didn't get the impression that I was like oh I got to hear what new stuff they come up with because it was like it's still going to sound like Worrell. He's like Worrell influenced how he writes lyrics a lot, and I'm like, okay, but I think like Worrell's really good at writing Worrell's lyrics, but you shouldn't try to copy him too much.
So do we?
Gets goofy real quick.
Right. So you're the Nevermore fan. I'm not. It's fine. My question is because I haven't seen this video and I don't know where this is going in general. You're probably not surprised. Are you disappointed or maybe? Do you think this guy has anything to add to Nevermore going forward? Or is he just there to be a Nevermore cover vocalist? He's just going to just try to do Worrell's thing.
It kind of remains to be seen. It's hard to say unless, like, I don't think he was known to be in another band, like, because they don't credit anyone. So he was probably in a band, but they're like, oh, nobody worth mentioning, unlike the bass player who was in Oceans of Slumber.
Yep.
But he's a very good vocalist. Like that's the thing. He sounds very capable. It's just one of those things where if you want, like, the thing is, I've heard Loomis do other stuff, and there's still good riffs and whatever and solos, but like you've heard his range of stuff. Unless he takes something crazy out of left field to like shake it up.
He's gonna get a 9th string.
Ugh, no, well, definitely not. Because those are terrible and sound well he doesn't even use 8, so if he just went to 8 that actually but I don't even think that's Like, it's been so long since eights became a thing. It doesn't matter. Like, Petrucci picked it up and it was like way too late. And then after that, it was like, if anyone's like, I decided to get into eight string, it's like no one cares, and most people would recommend against it. So
does he need to go the other way? Does he need to tune up? No more drop D, no more drop C, God forbid.
He has.
We're gonna have high, whatever.
Well, he basically
guitar.
Arch Enemy was that for him, like in a way, because well, I don't know what is Arch Enemy tune. They might tune to D or something.
Doesn't everyone?
Do they tune?
Isn't
Oh,
that
C
literally what
standard.
all the
Okay,
bands
C
do now?
standard. No. C standard is just a half step above a 7-string, but then I think they always tune the 7 strings down at a half step at least. So a whole step up from Loomis's 7-string when it's not drop A flat. So that's reasonably low. It's funny how like the difference between a low tuned 6-string and a 7-string is like, they're going to play more notes on the 7-string because it has more notes, and they're like,
that works.
I got to play all of those.
Well, you got to play all the notes.
Hold on, I missed a few.
Well, that's if you played too many notes.
Yes, exactly.
The song. There's no such thing other than the song.
Yeah.
You can't have too many notes unless you're covering too many notes.
Bluegrass fusion.
Great. It's fucking phenomenal.
It's funny. Like it's one of the best things about Steve Morse is that maybe he's a shred guy, sure, but he didn't. He existed before shred guys were a thing, and therefore he was just a musician who at some point people were like, I will listen to you play anything on the guitar, and I mean anything. And he was like, all right, let's do it. And then that's, you're a guitar guy, and you're like a guitar player. A guitar player's guitar player, which is like weird-handed.
By the way, I just saw a video. I think it was Morse and Petrucci playing Hocus Pocus from Focus, and it was, I want to say, live, and I listened to about a minute of it, and it sounded like ass, so I turned it off. I don't know if that's their fault. I don't know if they're too old to play the guitar anymore, too old to rock, no more rocking for you.
Yeah.
Or if it was just piss poor live production, or it's just a hard fucking song.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I remember I haven't seen that. I mean, I've seen them do stuff before. Like was Steve Morse band touring with Dream Theater or something? Like that might have been one of those things where they
just say.
That's probably because I don't think they've done like a G3 together recently, but I could be wrong. Like G3 went like back to its roots ish, like they did a G2, which is via
there are long songs and there are fast parts,
and nobody
else automatically means that they're good.
Yeah, exactly. So, point is, Nevermore. I don't expect interesting new material. Maybe it'll be listenable. Maybe it'll be like that one recent Evergrey that was a little bit better than most of them have been, where it's like worth listening to.
Other than the end of it.
Well, right, yeah. But there's nothing like really surprising.
Okay, so
the biggest surprise was they figured out how to make the lower tuned guitars sound good.
That's fair.
Evergrey.
To that point, Kamelot's going on tour. Kamelot likes to change.
Wait.
Oh, no.
Wait, there's one more thing about Nevermore.
Okay, fine.
The new guitar player. He's like 22 or something, really young guy. He worked at Seymour Duncan. And when Loomis was there filming some signature pickup videos, he met him. And at some point, like, I don't know why the dude was playing guitars, maybe just in between shots or something. And he's messing around and he started playing Nevermore licks. And then Jeff was like, not bad, kid. What are you doing with the rest of your life? Like literally, that's what they said in the interview. But I was like, I hope you didn't actually say that.
That sounds awful and creepy. And
yeah.
So
no, maybe he said no. I'm embellishing. It was just something like, what are you? It wasn't what are you doing with your life, because that sounds confrontational. But it was like,
what do you want to do with your life?
It might have been something far more innocuous, like what do you want from your life? What do you want? Like, but like. Basically, he was like, oh, you can play Nevermore stuff. You are personable because you work with a brand and don't scare people like me off. And also, you're young. Got to get a young gun in the mix. Like that's. And so,
how old is Loomis? 50-something?
Good question.
Should 22-year-old budding young guitarists hang out with 50-something-year-old sad boy
He's
creepazoids?
54. Okay,
Well,
yeah, okay. To be fair,
hey,
you know
what?
what?
Is it?
Yeah, now that I think about it, I was just about to be like, Mirror Black. The thing is, this is actually a bigger age gap than Mirror Black.
Yeah.
So when I started Mirror Black, I was 24. And
Yeah.
the oldest member was 441. I
wouldn't
I
want
didn't
to.
hear about it till later that somebody was like, "Oh, you didn't know he's over 40? Yeah, he's over 40." So somebody was
Was it
like,
Raven? Because he doesn't age.
I don't want to I don't want to specify, and if you keep talking, I'll just end up like. Oh, the point is, it was like a 12 to wait. Am I doing math right?
Probably not. That's
34,
not what this show's
16.
about.
No, 16 plus year gap between the youngest and oldest member of the band. But that happens. Like, the thing is,
Sure.
that was the band I found to audition for that didn't completely suck and was a functioning band. Like, I didn't have to help finish.
Thing.
Most bands, you join the band and it's like, that's not a whole band yet. So now you're invested, but you're still on the like, gotta find the other players, and you might not. You just might not. And then there's no band. So that was the band that was like, hey, they had a different band, so they knew how to have a band.
Sure.
And so this time with the new band, and then, yeah, and the rest is mostly forgotten history. But it's relevant. It's going to come up again because of Roy Khan and Kamelot and the Black Halo, which are also part of the Mirror Blackverse, or vice versa. Really very vice versa, and like more like a footnote that only I keep adding to things.
It's fine. It's fine. And that might even be a better segue into it, because it's possible I was grasping at straws there.
Yeah. So that was the guitar players from Seymour Duncan. He's a young dude. But it was, I mean, if you haven't seen the Ola video, it's a little funny because they interview them and have them go through and be like, I'm Jeff Loomis. I'm the guitar player for Nevermore. Like, yeah, we know what the fuck you are, Jeff. What the, like, if you heard of Nevermore, you're not just like, Nevermore. What's that band about? I don't know. Let me see the newest thing they've done after they've reunited with.
Here, I thought this was all Edgar
Allan Poe. At this stage in their
references.
career, if they're competent, there's nothing wrong. You basically either have to give a young gun a shot, or you find an old dude who you can tolerate being around and who won't ruin it. And in Nevermore, the standard for an old dude who can hang is much higher than, say, Queensryche, where they immediately, well, no, they eventually doubled back to young gun. They got an old dude who had no business being anywhere near Queensryche. In the interconnected Pragaverse, he is the same guy that made that one Nevermore album sound like shit. Make it sound so bad that the other producer has to come in and fix it and re-release it because he sounded like farts. And you know what else sounded like farts? Queensryche, from the time that dude joined the band and quite a ways after. So but then after him, they got a slightly less old dude, but generally still qualifies as an old dude. And then eventually got a young dude because he married Jeff Tate's daughter. And so again, it's about who you know and whether or not the band is at the right age where having a young person might keep someone like from leaving when their dad takes them to the show. And then they're like, I don't know about this. They're like, oh, well, at least there's a dude under 40. You know, I don't know. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't. I have no idea. I don't have normal music audience thoughts like that. So
I understand.
Those are the options.
Don't think most of our audience does.
Yeah, that's what you listen for, is for the information you don't need.
Well, yes, that's the whole point. But having Kamelot's announcing a tour, and that's fine, and that's not really anything anybody cares about. What people do care about is that Roy Khan is going to be back doing stuff. He's going to be at Prog Power with, I want to say, Seven Spires as a backing band. And we like Roy Khan, and we kind of like Seven Spires. I like Seven Spires. But is he too old? Is this going to be relevant? Is this going to be interesting? Yeah, everybody wants to see it for sure. But what are the expectations here? What is this going to look like? Because it's going to be what the Roy Khan albums, the first 4 to 6 albums.
Yeah,
and is that enough to really make the trip, or what?
Oh, they're not. No, well, I don't know. Okay, so there's already some word on what they're going to be playing. But here's the interesting thing: is that Kamelot is one of those bands that has stopped playing most of the old stuff because they have so much stuff to play, and the singer is not from the old stuff. So the more that they can play stuff that is his stuff, then I'm sure it's whatever. But
Tommy Karavik.
But everyone knows the peak Kamelot era from Fourth Legacy to Black Halo. Some people might include Ghost Opera.
I would include
but they
Ghost
are
Opera.
wrong.
Hey, fuck you.
I
like Ghost Opera.
It was
I don't like Poetry for the Poison.
It was like,
I do like Ghost Opera.
because Poetry for the Poison is the same thing as Ghost Opera, but a little worse. And
Creepy.
So, I don't know, maybe I'll listen to Ghost Opera again. Maybe there's some decent songs.
I just did yesterday.
Because I at least listened to that one for a little while. Poetry for the Poisoned, I was just like, no, thank you. And then I didn't. And then I stopped trying more than like once per album. Kamelot did a little bit of like, oh, they're bringing the classics back into the set. And it was like Karma and maybe Forever or the other one that sounds like it. But it was like 2-3 songs. Same thing with the recent Symphony X. Oh, they brought back some old stuff. It's like not enough old stuff. Still too much new stuff. And good chance I would have been on this shit like, oh, that's it. So Kamelot already did what they're going to do, unless they, unless they're mad at Roy. I don't think they are. I don't think they care. Like they're doing well enough.
Almost certainly not. They're the top of their genre. They're
if they needed it, they would have done an anniversary thing. But So it's funny. We'll come back to that. This sort of subgenre that they spawned and now are like at the top of, but also it's boring now. So
that's why they keep getting new guest singers. It's just new and different. It's a different hot lady up on stage driving around singing the same parts.
And it's the same like song format and
But everybody likes it and it makes them money.
Yes. So Icon is I guess they didn't want to do, or maybe they did they do anything together like a guest thing? I don't know. But they didn't want to do a reunion or maybe they just didn't even come up, whatever. I don't know.
Would be my guess.
But probably current Kamelot is doing well enough because they hit that, I need a name for it, that stride where it's like, okay, you're big enough that if you
is what it's called.
They're coasting, but it's like you're big enough, not too big to fail, but too big to fail fast enough for it to bother you. Like
too big to innovate.
Slow, So
too big to need to innovate.
Ironic because AC/DC is the band everyone thinks of, but then they actually had some surprising upturns in their later eras that led to some, big stuff. Like
that's a kind of a different example though, because it was just that their songwriting got a little bit better. It wasn't that they did different stuff. They just did it better.
Well, it evolved. It evolved a little bit. It was like probably related to production in a lot of ways. It's like the 80s, but also the early 90s stuff.
Big difference in production there.
For like you said, there's definitely production and there's also definitely writing, but the fact that the writing got better, that's still significant. That doesn't happen in most people's coasting phase.
That's fair.
That's the point. That's the point of the coasting, is that there's no big, like, I think maybe we'll need a term for like fake comebacks, like Minecraft 2, where it was like, we're going to pay it off, the thing you never wanted to happen, if you have any sense, because nobody cares who killed me. People are like, oh, it's just later, we don't know who killed me. No one gives a shit. And it was probably Dr. X. Or it was Nikki, but it doesn't matter.
You could probably just call it pulling a Disney, because no one is famous for more sequels that you didn't need, that had no point in the goddamn world and are blatant money grabs than Disney.
Adding detail to it does not make it better. It's exactly perfect with the amount of detail it had.
No, but we can milk the idea
to it.
If you haven't milked the idea until it's dry and gasping, no new ideas, only rehashed ideas. Much cheaper that way.
Yep. And so
anyway, Roy Khan, he's going to do a thing.
He's going to do Black Halo, from what I hear, which is a little disappointing, because like I was like, okay.
There's no Elizabeth on Black Halo.
And that's the same. I'm hearing like I'm like, oh, I would just assume it would be like stuff from, again, like Fourth Legacy to Black Halo. And people saying, oh, well, up into Ghost Opera. So it's mostly Black Halo and some Ghost Opera. And apparently not much before that. The weirdest part of that to me, aside from there being really good songs on Karma and Epica and some on Fourth Legacy, is that Epica and Black Halo are two parts of a thing. Black Halo is the sequel to Epica, but you're just gonna play Black Halo, and it's like, be like, I don't understand what's going on in this part of the story. Can you play something from earlier?
Well, to be
In
fair, if
the
you're going to go see
chronology-
Khan, you probably are familiar with the whole thing already. And
Right. No, it doesn't. That's why it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But like,
I get it, though.
if there's any kind of album to do an anniversary thingy, and like, I think maybe that's it. Maybe like he kind of missed it technically, because I think 2005. So 2025 would have been 20 years for Black Halo. And this year is 20 years from the live album. They're like, we've peaked live album. That's how you know it's not Ghost Opera, because the live album was before Ghost Opera, and the live album was one of the
cold winter's night, coldest winter's night.
Perfectly
cold
timed live album to say, we did all the good stuff that we're going to think of. And then, but they don't know that yet. But like, look, that's the best you can hope for, is record your concert film when you don't have any bad stuff to play or any mediocre stuff. Like Dream Theater's still putting out live stuff. I'm like, I don't need more. I have too much as it is.
They can make money on it.
They get less interesting to watch as time goes on.
How that goes.
Although there's a hilarious picture.
Is Shagrath going to show up?
There was
do Black Halo.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be worth getting him.
Be fun. What the fuck else?
Unless
you
heard
they
anything
from Dimmu Borgir?
No, you know who's going to do Shagrath's voice is Adrian, because Seven Spires is the backing band.
Yeah,
and they'll probably have her do all the female parts, and she can do harsh. Yeah, so she'll be Mephisto and the lady from The Haunting, whoever the fuck that's supposed to be. But yeah, so because she does, because it's Goblin voice, and she does
Lady Helena, right? Hear ye, the lady Helena has committed a sin.
Yeah. But there's other parts of this other women where the issue is that they're sad because he's really thinking of Helena or whatever. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. She'll do Goblin voice. It'll be great.
Well, oh yeah, hell yeah. You're going to love it. That's why you're going entirely for Adrian doing Goblin voice.
Well, somebody was like, do you still talk to so-and-so from Seven? Like, I don't know anybody in Seven Spires. I know people who know people in Seven Spires. I don't know anybody in Seven Spires.
You kind of knew Adrian a little bit.
Why does everyone think that?
I don't know.
That's the funny thing. That's exactly what they said. And I was like, I don't know. I never spoke. I started NAMM once, but I didn't talk. But it wasn't on purpose. It was, for some reason, was at the Godin booth with one of the, before Seven Spires got to where she quit her other bands. She was in 3 bands already or whatever. This dude, I forget what band he's originally from, but his third tier whatever band she was singing with, and it was a little more butt rock than metal, and they were at the Godin booth, which is the brand I use for like nylon string guitars, but they make electric guitars, but no one cares if they make electric guitars. And if you do, they play jazz on it or something. But then there's all right, we got this butt rock guy and an Adrian singing, and I don't
your friend
remember.
Kai
Kai knows. Yes, Kai helped record. I think record drums for the last album.
Sure.
He knows that. Yes, I said Kai knows people in Seven Spires. I do not, and if I did, I probably wouldn't have a trail of recordings about how Seven Spires is okay, but there's something it's not that into this particular
guys are shit. I fucking hate them.
No, and that's not. It's usually not it. This thing
I think they're a fun band. I enjoy their music.
They're not actually boring. That's not the thing.
Matt's bad opinions on this. He's an asshole.
Not that wasn't my opinion. It's not that they're boring. It was more there's a lot of ups and downs in terms of how I react to their stuff. Some of it's very good. Some of it's it's the whole issue with the genre direction, right? There's certain you're okay, the whole subgenre that Kamelot helped birth is symphonic metal, and it didn't really exist, nor did it really need to be a separate classification. But what it really means is a lot of fake classical instruments, right? So music score elements, which could literally just be a layered keyboard, or it could be some full MIDI orchestration. And at this point, it can be whatever. It can just be string patches on a keyboard, whatever. It's romantical. It's it's a romantic subject. That's part of the thing. And I like peak Kamelot but I don't really like most of the genre they spawned. And that's probably why I don't like most of what they do. Because like they're basically continuing to do that genre. But what they
they've
first
leaned
did,
into it extremely
Yeah.
heavily because again,
They
they're
were-
the pinnacle of the industry or the
they were
genre.
they were in that like power metal, prog metal gray area. And then because of them leading to like Epica, who copied their name from them, and then Epica became a huge symphonic metal band. And
That was Simone Simons, right?
yes,
And she did guest vocals on Black Halo or Ghost Opera, or both.
Probably both. And definitely
both.
Black Halo. Again, I don't care about Ghost Opera.
This is a whole lot of,
yes, significant guest female vocals, which led to a band with female vocals that the guitar player occasionally does guest, not really guest, but death metal vocals, because symphonic metal can have a little death metal as a treat. But
that's what
mostly
Seven Spires is about.
It's about the romantical, very simple power metal. And so like really the symphonic thing tends to mean like, okay, another sort of technically accurately symphonic metal band, Therion, right? The whole thing is about orchestration with metal and operatic vocals. And that's how, like, Kamelot is the one that wasn't doing the female vocalist thing, but it was like Kamelot and Nightwish and Epica and other bands where a woman is the singer. Like that was a big thread. You don't have to have a female singer to be symphonic metal, but it's part of the genre.
Is that why Symphony X sucks now or is not relevant now? Because they never had a lady singer?
They're not symphonic metal. They're
kind of
neoclassical progressive metal or prog metal at this point. But
are they?
They weren't.
I suppose.
They had symphonic elements, but that wasn't a genre
it's
yet.
in the name, damn it.
Exactly. But really, would you tell Michael Romeo that he's in a symphonic metal band to his face, knowing what it means now, the connotations, the bands that come to mind? They could look if there was a giant symphonic metal festival, they could book Symphony X. No one's going to argue with that. Close enough.
I would tell Russ Allen that.
But at the end of the day, are you really thinking of them as like? I mean, there's influence because again, there's a lot of overlap there, right? The power prog ecosystem was always a mess of overlaps. And
in fact, maybe if you told Michael Romeo that, he might be more apt to play better music because they got real goddamn boring. I mean, maybe they need to go back to the neoclassical to.
I get it. Insult him enough.
Yes.
To try harder on the next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would definitely tell Russ Allen that.
Well, actually, no, that's part of the thing is we know that he's capable. Like
looking at you, Russ.
Did you listen to Michael Romeo's recent solo stuff? It's like what Symphony X should be doing. Therefore, either somebody who did not play on the Michael Romeo solo album is causing the band to stick. It could be management too, because they hit some sort of weird stride where like they leaned more into the Pantera-y, like, harsh, like growlier vocals. And I'm sure part of that is Russ doesn't want to sing super high stuff anymore. It's probably getting harder. And also he
probably can't.
He used to be chugging whiskey on stage while he was doing it. So it's like, oh yeah, well, if it's suddenly hard now, then.
And now in shows, he sounds like a youth pastor, which is creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
At any rate, Symphony X is contractually obligated to be boring. Maybe that's part of their staying afloat is the symphonic metal audience who want a song with a male vocalist for it, or a band with a male vocalist for a change.
I don't know. I worry. It's fine.
Yeah. So
but that's also Tommy's job.
Kamelot
Roy's job
was borderline. They were borderline prog metal. They're like the lighter form of prog, where it's like maybe a song's a little bit long, maybe it has a weird piano intro, like, but not like, and even a tiny bit of like rhythmic complexity at times, but like very on the light side. But it was more interesting. It was well written, and we'll figure out a way to, like, I don't know if we'll go through everything, but we'll go through a good amount, and we'll go through some detailed, like an album or two at a time. It'll be a series of episodes, and probably not even all sequential. We keep it interesting. We can alternate between this and more current topics or whatever.
Sure. Before I forget, since this just popped back into my brain, I feel like I heard that Khan is specifically going to be doing an album, and I want to say that Sasha Paith was tapped to
Yeah.
direct, produce, whatever on it. So that's kind of a thing too. What
Yeah.
do we think? Is that even going to sound like?
Well,
More the same?
it's probably going to try to sound like Black Halo and Ghost Opera.
Yeah.
I would expect. Oh yeah, where's this? I want to find the announcement because
it can't sound exactly like Camelot at this. But what would be the point?
Well, no, it won't. It'll sound like
Old Camelot,
a different variation on trying to sound like old Camelot. Like it won't sound like Camelot, but yeah.
But what about Conception? What about Roy's work with those guys? What about the direction that went? Albeit unsuccessfully.
Yeah, well, I mean, as successful as can be expected for a band, the level of like they weren't huge to begin with,
right?
But they,
saying they didn't get huge. They didn't.
Yeah. So so Sasha Paith, who produced the Black Halo and Epica, and
didn't he go on the road with them, play keys and shit like that?
Yeah, because that's what he was a very hands-on producer. He helped a lot with the Sasha Paith and Miro, who's was single name and maestro. They did all the like orchestration stuff,
sure,
and made it symphonic basically. So they are the real, arguably, progenitors of.
Turns out, actually, I think Danny Elfman's pen name for.
If you go through like their discography, actually, now that I think about it, it's like literally. Oh, they're the symphonic metal guys. They're like the Toto backing band or Jay Graydon producing or like a Steely Dan member or something. They're the secret sauce who like, yeah. And so that's good that they're working with Roy Khan. I would probably bet Seven Spires is also going to be the backing band if they're the touring backing band.
That would make some sense. I mean, we've already accused them of writing and playing.
Yeah, they already know how to write Kamelot songs. So honestly, like it could be good. Like honestly, if it like balanced, like first of all, when they actually had Roy Khan, they underused him.
Well, yeah.
So reverse the ratio. Roy's the main vocalist, but there's probably going to be a guest spot by Adrian. I mean, hell, have her be on a lot of it. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
but
she's got a few different voices.
Mainly Roy, and then it'll be interesting, like Roy's writing combined with their writing. It could be good. It could be interesting. It depends how interesting he lets it be, assuming that's how they're writing it. So I'm not going to say no way it'll be interesting, because I liked some of the new Conception stuff. They tuned down a little more, which I'm sure they will for Roy's thing too.
Right. Well, everything is, as previously mentioned. But
yeah,
I suspect there's no way this will not sound good. It will be well produced. That's absolutely a fact. It's just, will it be of any real interest, or are they just gonna just give us poetry for the poisoned again? Because that's what happened at the end of the tenure with Khan, and whose fault was it?
My hope is that if Seven Spires is the backing band, they're not totally out of their playing notes phase. They haven't settled into like why play a bunch of notes if you can keep writing the same songs over and over.
Yeah.
So since they haven't hit that,
you think we're still
more likely, right? We can still get notes, especially if Roy's like, let's make it like Black Halo. There was a little more, hints of progginess, prog light, and like I was talking about, just like there's no Elizabeth. Elizabeth's on Karma, and I listened to the Elizabeth trilogy the other day, and I mean we'll go more in depth when we do the actual albums and stuff. But I forgot, it's a perfect example of them being like light prog, because it's a 3-part, it's 3 tracks, but it's like a 3-song suite
with
Roman numerals. Yes. And technically the same title, Elizabeth 1, Elizabeth 2, but each song, I forget, because one of the tracks is like Cecily Long Silence, like they would do on CDs to like, I don't know if there's something at the end of it, whatever. But the actual song isn't 11 minutes.
Sure.
It's like 4. They're all like 4 minutes,
sure.
And they're tight. And I forgot that they're so tight because I'm like, 3, 4, too many Roman numerals. But actually, 3 tight songs. And so it's like they kind of trick you, but you still get your prog pretension. It's a conceptual.
Well, you got to have that.
You cannot fit it could have been one pushing it length epic, but honestly better that it was split into 3 tracks, even if it's arguable which is more pretentious. Would it be more pretentious to have a 12-minute song or to have 3 songs, but you Roman numeraled them? Or, well, no, the most pretentious would be if it was the long song and the Roman numerals were just listed in the liners.
Oh, yeah.
But
no, what's more pretentious is the stanza symbol. Looking at what's his face from that band whose name I forgot. God damn it. My brain went away. My brain went away in the middle of doing a thing. You know, the one with the guy.
I don't. What?
Yeah, you do. Jesus Christ. He did growly vocals again, and people were happy about it, and suddenly my brain went away.
Opeth.
Jesus.
I was like, what are you talking about? Stanzas?
Yeah, remember the weird stanza symbol that they used instead of having track names?
Oh, right, because
that was the most pretentious thing you could do.
Yes, because it was a legal document, and therefore the title of the track should be. Yep, exactly.
It made me forget the goddamn name of the band.
Opeth.
Yeah, I know. Parkerland.
It's funny though, because like someone I work with went to see them recently, said it was pretty good, but
I'm sure it's pretty good.
Too much new stuff, but then I'm kind of torn on that because I'm like, I like the newest stuff, but then nothing else that you would call new stuff. That's what I want you to play.
They're playing, isn't it?
Old stuff. Yeah, like they went back into the growlings of just enough, you know, like who knows what it'll be next. I don't expect much, but that was another
Probably another 5 years.
Wow, surprisingly decent, pleasant to listen to album. I don't expect it again. Yeah, so
it's prog. You shouldn't expect it again. You should get something totally different. The next one will be pop reggae about puppy dogs and rainbows, and none of them will be the illegitimate sons and daughters or whatever of a guy. Puppy dogs and rainbows, reggae.
Yeah, why not?
Reggaeton.
Get Bad Bunny on
yes, that's what we need.
Crossover record.
Reggaeton, Bad Bunny, Jonas Okerlund, and Pitbull.
Sure.
And Pitbull.
Why not? Yeah, definitely. No, I don't know if they can. Well, actually, Bad Bunny's bigger than Pitbull.
Well, hell yeah, absolutely.
So, I was going to say, I don't think they can get that. Like, oh no,
I think that would be charity for Pitbull at this point.
Actually, yeah, he hasn't been getting quite as many features because he's been around too long.
They cancel Pitbull? Oh, that'd be terrible.
You can't cancel him because it was like there could be no revelations. He's very clear about like, you know, he used to do some extracurricular activities. That means selling drugs. Like, it's very clear that it means selling. Like, is it? He's like, you know, extracurricular activities.
I don't think
but when you say it the same way
drugs
every time, it just sounds like you're saying, oh, wink, wink, you know. And that's the most charitable. That's the like most like, okay, sure, selling drugs. Anything else it could be is worse. And like, you just hope he means selling drugs. That's the only thing you could be canceled for is if it turns out he was doing something worse than selling drugs.
I don't think they cancel him for selling drugs. I think that's
no, exactly. That's my point. They wouldn't cancel him for selling drugs. So there's nothing that you can like.
Maybe he should just be like, man, I sold drugs. It's all right. I made some money. Didn't beat women or diddle children. I just sold drugs. I'm a pretty good guy.
I honestly, I think he's one of those rappers who's like arguably happily married and is like, no, it's the gimmick. Like, even though in every song he's like, sounds like a sexual predator. He's like, but in real life, no, he's just a married man and he's doing a show. And
good.
Yeah. So it is theater.
Anyway, I look forward to seeing Kamelot Part 2 featuring Pitbull. And that sounds like if that happens, I might have to fly down to Atlanta.
Yeah, well, okay, that's probably not going to happen. Although,
damn it.
Ironically, no, Pitbull's from Miami. I was like, is he from Atlanta?
It's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he could get there, but they can't afford him. But
that's for sure the case.
I will be at Prague Power in the fall for Roy Khan, regardless of what he's playing.
I will not be going to see Kamelot in the fall in Milwaukee because it's on a Tuesday.
I wouldn't go anyway because, again, like they did their, oh my God, they played like 2 old songs. And I looked it up and I was like,
look, if they were playing the Sylvie on a Tuesday, I'd go. I'm not driving to Milwaukee on a Tuesday.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So anyway, Roy's back. He's going to do things. It's probably going to be well produced, if not all that interesting. I have hope. Sounds like you have hope.
So we'll definitely talk about that, and we'll also be starting our Kamelot retrospective. We came up with so many titles, we should just start using all of them.
Yes.
But like basically where we revisit a band that we like and we go into a more of a deep dive, and also to show that when we joke about music, we joke about the stuff we like too. In fact,
Right. We are
sometimes
not just
more
haters.
so. And so it's like, I don't want to be like, the point is not to say like, see, we can say nice, because like we do say nice stuff all the time. It's just about the same like 5 things. Like everyone.
I say nice things about lots of people.
Yes, but most people have been involved in this podcast. There's a handful of things that are like, so it almost invites the like, well, you're too old. You don't like anything new. And it's like, I have liked new things periodically, far beyond the age where you're supposed to. But now, having found like a new thing here and there after a certain amount of time, I think that it's possible music's over now. But it's nothing to worry about. Not really. Like, it's just within our like ability. Like, everything's a combination of existing things, but more so, most things aren't even that. They're just pick a decade from the last century, including the 2000s, because technically that's just the very late 90s. And that's it. So, are you a 70s band? Literally dressed like Led Zeppelin and sound exactly like Led Zeppelin, and then argue when people are like, how come you guys sound like Led Zeppelin? It's like, we like a lot of bands that sound like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, like Kingdom Come.
And yeah. So
see who remembers Kingdom Come.
That's like every band now that doesn't have another discernible gimmick or specifically a blending of known styles. Like you pick 2 and that haven't been very frequently.
You mean like Necrogoblicon's latest single featuring Real Big Fish?
Oh God, don't get me started on Necrogoblicon.
They were super fun at Milwaukee Metal Fest.
They came up on a podcast I was listening to about how the guy didn't like their podcast. And I was like, let me give you some more reasons not to like it. It's for a band, and that guy is not even in the band.
He's the gimmick guy, though. And this is...
The singer is a coward because he did not choose to become the Goblin. If he had become the Goblin, it could literally be the same music, but like it would have tuned him into the gimmick. Like he lost they kept the Goblin gimmick, but then musically it was like, well, we did black metal, let's do power metal, let's do some different stuff. But that's not really your thing. It was that there's a Goblin and you're like, okay, we got to keep the Goblin. It's in our name. But I don't want to put all that crap on. So when we perform live, I'm still just going to be some guy. It's like his band, but you would not guess it because he's just like some guy singing. And there's a Goblin running around, but he's not participating in the music. He's like a mascot. But
I mean, he's kind of like Flava Flav.
Well, and obviously, they hired somebody. It may not be the same guy who's actually the mascot on stage in the shows, because that
I suspect
probably,
it is, because he definitely sounds like the same guy.
Do they have him speak at shows?
Oh, yeah, he's very involved in the show. He's not just bouncing around. He
okay, that's good. That's good. Because early on, like it just looked like they had him. Okay, that's good. That's good. Because at first I thought it was like, oh, it's just like because the first clips I saw of them live, it was like there's a Goblin and he's just like.
No, he's absolutely part of the show.
Okay, good.
It's not
and that
just,
probably
just
okay, good. Because the whole thing is they do a whole podcast that the Goblin hosts, and nobody else from the band is ever on it, and it's just a show. They must have got a good PR company or something to get it like hooked up.
Maybe he's the band's manager. Maybe it's his cosplay thing.
Maybe
and he hired a band. Here's your songs. Rock out, guys.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. But I think I've always heard that the singer is like the guy, and the first thing, I don't know how much of a band there even was for the first song, because it was like the whole thing was they made a crazy video that got a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And
in
the video was a Goblin, and the Goblin, he farmed out the Goblin responsibilities. Now he's nobody. I can't remember. He's like completely. He doesn't even have like a sort of Goblin adjacent, like, we're the servants of the Goblin. No, don't think it through anymore. You hired a Goblin. He handles the Goblin stuff. You just handle the
You know,
increasingly
it's
uninteresting
specialization of
music.
labor. You got a guy who's a goblin. He does the goblin stuff. You got a band who's the band. They do the band stuff. It's how the market works. You have people do what they're good at.
But then the singer does the goblin vocals, and that's confusing. The goblin vocals should come out of the goblin, which is why he should have become the goblin, but he's a coward. Oh, that's Necrogoblicon for you.
I still recommend anyone who has the opportunity to go see them. It was a fun show, even if they're cowards.
I saw them. Oh, yeah. You know, that was the other thing. I did see them once, and they must not yet have hired that guy, or at least not been able to afford to pay him on tour, because the goblin at the show I saw was silent. And I don't think they had started that podcast with the interviews yet. So at some point, they got a guy, probably, you know, a comedian or somebody who's just like, I'll be your goblin. Anyway, we will be talking more about Kamelot. We have similar.
Tune in next time when we talk to John Goblicon about. No, that's not going to happen. If he wants to come on, we'll talk to him. Or if he wants us on there, we'll go there too. I'll talk to a guy in a suit.
Maybe we'll see.
I'll do it. I'm a whore. I'll do it. You don't have to do it.
No, I'll do it.
Everyone does it. You know,
but I'll also
it.
do a bit the entire time, because I'm like, if you're gonna be a fucking character, I'll be a fucking character. I got characters. Fuck you.
This whole thing is a bit. I'm a bit. I'm the king and I do it. We all do it. You know, you do it.
Exactly. So we're going to do more retrospectives like this, like we thought about, like Rush and like Steely Dan would be another obvious one. Toto, like bands we like.
We've talked about Toto a lot because Toto's the best band there is. So get used to it.
Yeah. It'll give us more material, allow us to do deep dives of stuff that we already know. And I might be able to get other people who are particularly interested in certain bands to come on and give us more opinions and stuff.
And then we can listen to those records again, like, for a reason.
Exactly. Which I was already doing is part of the point. I was like, I'm already
But now listening. It's for the show. So
now it's for, so the main thing is that I might actually listen to some of the early ones that I never really bothered with much. And
that's fair.
Might be interesting. Yeah. And then we'll see how far after. Maybe we'll just do through Con, because honestly, who cares?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. And we'll do some more soon. And like the retrospective thing will let us do more episodes.
And you know what else will let people do? People can comment on things that they think we should listen to. We will ignore them, but you can try.
Tell us things to listen to and tell us if you think they are good or bad. That's important. Because if you're like, listen to this, it's bad, I'm going to be like, hell yeah.
I was going to say that.
Because there's no chance of you misinterpreting me disliking it as like, because again, it's not like, I think the title of the podcast is supposed to filter out people who do not want to hear this podcast, but it doesn't always work.
I think what Matt is saying is he wants you to tell him to listen to Fish records, because as it turns out, that's a very successful topic.
Yeah,
for Matt on the YouTube's machines.
No, I would need some sort of I need a better excuse, better guaranteed return on investment, because of all the Fish I've heard, I've never been like, what would be fun is to listen to a lot more of this. I already tell you why I don't like it.
You can talk about hating it.
Yeah, no, I can, but like the amount of suffering relative to the amount of material, it could be, I don't know. I tried to watch.
Or if you happen to do too much of a certain thing and your wife is upset about you doing that certain thing, you could be like, well, it's because I have to listen to this Fish record. So you can't. So this is for my sort of side work thing. So
that would probably be the way that it would make the most sense, is like, we tried to find out if there's a drug that makes fish good. And
turns out it's tartar sauce.
Yeah.
Or it's the wrong kind of fish.
Or earplug.
Don't use those in the same way. Eat one, put the other one in your ears.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Click like, subscribe, come listen to our bullshit.
All right. You can listen to the audio version on yourmusicisbad.com, and you watch video on YouTube. You can listen to it on YouTube. It doesn't matter. You don't have to look at it, whatever.
You should, though. Because we're so pretty.
Well, YouTube is also like, it'll help other stuff more. Nobody cares about it. But if you're like a podcast subscribing person, subscribe to yourmusicisbad.com. There's a feed and stuff. Then you can always have the audio thing. If that's how most people still listen to podcasts, but the video is.
Look, I just do one. I don't listen to them. Get on with it, everybody.
Exactly.
All right.
All right.
That's enough of that. Rock and roll.
All right. I'm turning it off now.